Hi, I'm Scoot, and welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. Even the elephant in the room is wearing a mask. All right, we're going to get to that in just a moment. A couple of the recent videos here on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel that continue to trend include COVID crazies, the mask holes, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis continuing to make a fool of himself, Representative QAnon, that's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's the QAnon congresswoman from Georgia. She's not being censored. I know that word is spreading around, but she's not being censored. And I explain exactly why in the video that's posted here on this YouTube channel. And then I'm still amazed that Brandy Love, conservative porn star, continues to trend. So all of this and a lot more videos available here. And if you subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. I mean, I'd love to be big enough to charge people to subscribe, but we're not that big yet. So you get in on the ground floor free right now because we're just developing this. All of this an extension of my radio show on WWL Radio in New Orleans, and so subscribe if you can, and we give you an alert every time we do something, and at least you know it's there. You can go check it out when you get a chance, and check out some of the other videos. Some of them are interesting, a wide range of things, including going back a little while, the series that I did, The Truth Behind the Microphone, where I reveal some truths behind the microphone from my perspective in social media and in talk radio. Those have trended pretty well. All right, Congressman Steve Scalise, Republican, says we need not divide people. We need to bring people together. Isn't that encouraging? Congressman Steve Scalise was on CBS's Face the Nation over the weekend. And Scalise said, I have high confidence in this vaccination. It's safe and effective. And he says we ought to encourage people to get the vaccination. He did after waiting a while. He didn't think he needed it and waited a while and then finally did get it and became public about it. At the same time, interestingly, at the very same time, Sean Hannity was going public on Fox News saying, get the vaccination. It's killing people if you don't get it. So it's interesting that there was this Republican wave of prominent Republicans all of a sudden promoting getting the vaccination. And I think it's because, as I talked about in the video that I did about Sean Hannity, I think it's because they realize by the numbers, more Republicans are dying than Democrats. And so they figured we better keep our voters alive. We're doing all this stuff with right to vote. Well, right to vote doesn't do any good if you're dead. And so based on the numbers, it appears as if more Republicans than Democrats are dying. So like all of a sudden, Republicans were on top of this. So I applaud Steve Scalise, but here's what I want to make sure that we clarify. Congressman Scalise says we should not shame the unvaccinated. And I agree. But how does he define shaming? I think shaming would be going up to somebody and saying, my friend, my loved one died because you didn't get the vaccine. You killed my friend. I think that's shaming. As I said on the radio show today, I don't think it's shaming the unvaccinated to tell them the truth. Like 91% of those in the hospital with COVID are unvaccinated. 91%. I don't see how that's shaming. And the truth is so overwhelming that if the truth makes you feel shameful, if the truth makes you uncomfortable, that still does not amount to shaming. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the definition of shaming is the act or activity of subjecting someone to disgrace or humiliation, especially by public exposure or criticism. So being honest about the facts and the statistics concerning the unvaccinated and this fourth surge, that ain't shaming. That's not shaming people. So don't shame people, but don't be afraid to be honest. And when people like Congressman Scalise continue to say, well, we need to encourage people to get the vaccine, we need to give them information. For Christ's sake, what kind of information do they need at this point? I had a woman call the show today and she said, I'm not getting the vaccine because that's my right. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not getting the vaccine. That's my right. The government can't tell me to do that. And it seemed like she was basing her whole idea on the government can't tell me to do this. Think about all the things the government tells you to do, and you do it. And I'm not saying we should be subservient to the government. And I can be skeptical of the government as well. But when it comes to something like this pandemic, there are people who don't want to admit it, but the government is trying to help you stay alive. When the government orders an evacuation, a mandatory evacuation, that comes from the government during a storm. Do you say, I'm not going to evacuate because the government told me to do it? I mean, that's bullshit. You do it because it saves your life. And I love this comparison that I've given. There are times when the government tells people, don't go in the water because the bacteria level is high and you might get sick. And do you know what you see? The Gulf, the ocean, empty. There's nobody in the water. Why is it that people listen to that government mandate? But when it comes to COVID, you can't tell me what to do. I don't care if it spreads. You can't tell me what to do. And this woman who called the show today, you know, I made it. I gave her the opportunity to talk about how she's not getting the vaccine and not wearing a mask because the government told her to do it. I said, "Do you pay taxes? Do you want to pay taxes? The government tells you to pay taxes, so you pay taxes. So don't act like you don't ever do anything the government tells you to do." But this is the bullheadedness that a lot of people have when it comes to the vaccine. I'm not talking about those who can't get it for medical reasons or religious reasons or those who can't wear a mask for medical reasons. But damn it, I mean, wear your freaking mask. Get the vaccination. And we've talked about this a lot, but it continues to be a big topic of discussion. I mean, it's amazing to me that as much as we talk about this, there are new episodes every day in the unfolding drama of this pandemic and the fourth surge. And we have really come down to it's divided versus we've really become divided along the lines of it's the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. We don't need more ways to be divided. And I just don't see the significance of this battle to make sure that you don't wear a mask. Standing up for American freedom by not wearing a mask or not getting the vaccine. And what information do people need at this point? The information's there. The unvaxxed fueled the fourth surge. Uncomfortable? Yeah. Is that shaming you? No, I don't think so. The unvaccinated are filling up hospital beds. And if things don't change here in Louisiana, we're a couple of days away from EMS medics not having anywhere to take somebody who's in the back of their EMS vehicle in serious condition. There'll be no place to take them. No place to take them because of the unvaccinated. And that's why you get the stupid vaccine. And for those who don't get it, who say, well, if I can get it anyway, why am I getting it? Stupid. You're getting it because you're probably not going to go to the hospital if you're vaccinated, if you do get it, and you're probably not going to die. Texas Governor Gregory Abbott, who is defiant when it comes to mask wearing and mask mandates and vaccination mandates and all of that, he's defiant. He's got COVID. Right now, he's got COVID, tested positive. The good news is Governor Abbott was smart enough to get vaccinated. So he's not seriously ill. So this really does prove the point that we're all trying to make. And that is that if you get vaccinated, chances are you're not going to end up in the hospital, which is the problem right now, or you're not going to end up dead, which is another problem. But again, people are making up their own minds. So set in their ways. Man, let's find bigger fights to fight. Because to me, this fight over not wearing a mask and equating it like Rand Paul did to, fighting for America's freedom is bullshit. It's not a freedom fight. It's just being stubborn. Thank you for joining me here on the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. And I hope you subscribe. Again, it's free, and we give you a notice every time we do something new. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, also Scoot on the Air. And my show, Scoot on the Air, is on WWL Radio in New Orleans. You can download the app Odyssey, Audacy. Type in WWL, and you've got us wherever you've got your radio. And I'm on the air 1 to 4 Central Time, Monday through Friday in the afternoon. So if you're joining me, also you can go to WWL.com and live stream the show by clicking on Stream Live. So look, here's the good news. The number of people vaccinated in Louisiana in the last month has quadrupled. So what I'm doing here, what you're doing, what so many of us are doing is working, because we're actually breaking through to some people who have been so stubborn that they were not going to get the vaccine. And now they're getting vaxxed up. Pick a real fight to fight. Get the vaccine, wear a mask, and let's end this fourth surge. Please.